So hi everyone. Today we want to talk about the file management. It is something that we did do in our one of our previous lessons. Um, Tools and settings, files and folders. So like I've always said, the notes are there in your dashboard. But today I wanted us to go a bit of the practical. Basically, how to create a file, folders, amongst other things. We have got the tools and settings. And generally, when you're talking about the file management, then you're referring to the files and folders. But it is just important that we don't just do this theoretically, reading them in our notes. But then today, I want to take this lesson. Then I go down and take you through some bit of practicals. That is, when it comes to saving, your data in your computer. How do we save? All the data we have in our computer, yes, we are referring to all of it as, they are basically files. But then, how well can we get to arrange them? This is a kind of thing that I want us to do today. Tools and settings. When I need, like to open a program, how do I go about it? When I need, to close a program, how do I go about it? And, things about, date and time, how to set such. Remember, each and every file that you're creating in your computer is issued, the computer issues it with what we call the time and date, time and date stamp. The time and date stamp is very important in our computer. Why? Every file you are creating, today I decide to maybe make a report. Say I am an accountant and I'm required to do, say, a financial report. I might decide to do part of that work, of course, on Microsoft Word, and then later I'll demonstrate maybe the budgeting using maybe how the money was spent using Microsoft Excel. When I get to create that file today, the computer is supposed to have the right date and time, so that once I've saved that particular file, it is stamped with what you call the time and date stamp, so that even after 2 weeks, after 1 month, after say even a year, later on somebody then can remember the date and even the time that that particular file was created. All those, we normally do them under what you call, the tools and setting. And so this is a very, very critical lesson for us. The video will be basically showing how to do most of these. So thank you very much, and I hope you'll enjoy this lesson. Thank you. So like we said, let's proceed on with our practical. As you can see, my computer has just powered up. It has boot up literally. And so I want to log into my desktop. Well, in most cases, you'll find that a lot of cases people will set, password to their desktop. It is important so that nobody just goes about using your computer when you're not there. So I'll put my password. And remember, your password normally is your secret. Your password, you should never share it out with anyone. So as I wait on for my machine to boot to the desktop, as you can see, it's welcoming me. My username I've set as my names. There you are, and there I am on my desktop. So this computer, we are going to do some basic settings. As you can see, I have got a few icons on the desktop. Of course, in your notes you must have seen where I mentioned about the desktop icons. Basically, the desktop icons are representation of the various programs that are installed in the computer. You can see the Zoom app that you normally use when you want to do a Zoom classes. So it's there, just an image of actually a camera there. We have got Adobe Acrobat Reader that we normally use for reading PDF documents, that is the portable document formats. We have the Google Chrome, that is our web browser. Another web browser that we have there is Mozilla Firefox. And then down here we also have got another folder. So this desktop of mine, as you can see, there's nothing that has been set so much apart from a few icons that you can see representing various programs. So to set it, one very important thing that you have to know is on your desktop you normally must have what you call the recycle bin, where all the deleted files in a computer are stored. Any file, any folder you delete in a computer normally goes to your recycle bin. We have got my computer, like in Windows 10 we call it this PC. We have got the network drives, and even my document that contains the user's file, that user that has logged in. Down here, as you can see, we have got our taskbar. The taskbar, the name suggests, normally shows some of the tasks that are running in the computer. And it is within the taskbar that you see, on the bottom right corner, we can be able to see where the date and time is set. You can see the icon for sound, we have the icon for the network, and the battery. This being a laptop, it has got an internal battery. And so this part, this particular corner here, this particular corner, normally we refer to it as the system tray. The system tray contains some of the drive icons that you can basically use to access other parts of the computer as basically as shortcuts. So let me try to set some of the icons on the desktop. So a lot of times what you do, you right click on a free space on your desktop, then you go and click on the option personalize. Personalize the desktop, and after clicking that, I go direct, then click on themes. After clicking on themes, then I go and click on the desktop icon settings. When I click on the desktop icon settings, you can see desktop icon settings. I have got desktop icons. I want to have computer, I want to have the user's files, I want to have the network drives, and also the recycle bin. Once I've selected all that, I'll come and click on apply, then I click OK. Then I go ahead and close that window for personalization settings. I close it. After closing, you can see the folder that I'm talking about here, the user's files. Remember, the user that is currently logged in is my account, so you can see my name there appearing as Fleve Sudur. You can see my computer. Like I said, in Windows 10 we refer to it as this PC. We have got the network drive, and we also have got the recycle bin. Like I said, any deleted file or folder goes to the recycle bin as it awaits to be deleted permanently from the computer. Once I've set this, you can be able to see the other icons that I found on my desktop. There are so many, and so I want to kind of organize them in a different way. So a lot of times when you right click on the desktop, you'll always come here, then you find the option for sort. The sort options gives us various ways in how we can sort the desktop icons and even other files. So we can always sort by name, size, item type, and date modified. So I'll go with the date modified. Very good. Now you can see in this particular area, whatever icons that were there, like the browsers icons that were there, are no longer here. What you can see now is on the left side of the screen, you can be able to see the drive icons plus the other icons that are representing the various applications. Most of the time, you always have the user's file, that is the user that is logged in, like this case myself, this PC, the network drive, and the recycle bin, always appearing on the left side first. So to organize that again, I right click on the desktop, go to the option sort by, then I say sort by date modified. In that case, now you can see the way they're well organized, starting from the user's files, this PC, network, recycle bin. These are normally the first icons on your desktop, and they appear on the far left side of the screen. And you can see I have got a whole space here now on my desktop. This is literally a good computer user should have his or her desktop appearing as it is. Like I said, in file management, it is important that you're aware that you don't crowd a lot of files on your desktop. And so that is how it is supposed to be. Very good. Let me check. Assuming maybe on my computer the date and time was not well set, then I can always come here, then I click on the date and time. As you can see, today is on Wednesday, September 23rd, the year 2020. So when I point on date and time, the date pops down here. You can see that on the bottom right corner, of your screen. Wednesday, September 2020. The computer being the device it is, we don't always have to, when I'm having my machine, I don't really have to go again, using my calendars outside, maybe like printed, maybe if it's hanging in the house, or you go to a mobile phone. If you have your computer with you, then you always have to ensure that the right date and time is set. So when I click on the date and time, I'll have this popping up, showing me the current month, the time. You can see it is 7:39 a.m. Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020, then the month, and the whole calendar is there. If I want to go to pick more options, then I click on date and time settings. When I click on the date and time settings, you can see the time and language. Now this is also one of the very, very important. A lot of times why our date is not well set normally goes to the time zone area. As you can see, our time zone currently is at Nairobi. So what happens if I change from Nairobi, say, to a different city? Let me say Kuwait. Check on that. You can see it's indicating 7:49. It means that that particular region in that time zone, then they have got what? A different, they're basically like ahead of us, I would say. So I change from Kuwait and go maybe say to Abu Dhabi, or let me pick maybe Bangkok. As you can see, Bangkok, that is Hanoi, Jakarta. For them, they're ahead of us. As you can see, it is 11:40 a.m. in that part of the world. So the time zone basically affects your time. It basically tells. This is why we are always required that as an individual, when you travel from one region to another, it is important that when, say, I move from East Africa, like where Kenya is based, and I go, say, to the West Africa, when I land in that particular region, I always have to go to any electronic device that I have. Then I go about and change my time zone. So that time zone is very, very critical. When I go back to Nairobi, you can see that Nairobi, it is 7:41 a.m. But the other part of the globe, pick a different one. Let me say Seoul is in Korea. As you can see, Seoul in Korea, it is 1:41 p.m. So the time and date stamp is affected simply by the time zone. So always ensure that in your computer you set the right date and time. So I go back to my time zone, Nairobi, and as you can see, it is 7:41 a.m. Very good. That is one of the critical settings in a computer. As you can see, apart from the icons that I have here, I have got an image that is appearing on the background of my desktop. Let me try to hide my desktop icon so that it just remains with the image. If I want to hide the desktop icons, I'll always right click on a free space on my desktop. Then I go to the option view. Then I come and say and check the option. As you can see, there is show desktop icons. It is currently checked. There's a tick mark here. This tick mark means that option is active. So if I click on it, then now you can see it means I've unchecked that option. And now what I'm left with is literally my desktop with the background on it. The background, as you can see, there's an image. So how do I change this image? These are also some of the tools and settings in a computer that one needs to know. If I want to change that, I'll right click on a free space, go click on personalize. After clicking on personalize, then I come and click on themes. Under themes, again repeat on themes settings. You can see the procedure. Then I'm shown some of the various themes. There are 5. There's unsaved theme. There is Beautiful Queensland by Trice Royce. Then we have Beauty of Britain, Beauty of Hong Kong, and then Bitmaps. So let me change from what I have currently to Beautiful Queensland. Click on that option. After clicking, then I close this window. After closing that window, now you can see the images are different. And there are many. So if I want to go to the next one, I'll right click on a free space, then I say next desktop background. Right click again, next desktop background. As you can see, they're changing from one to the other, one to the other. And as I do that, remember, there is no icon on my desktop. If I want to show those icons on the desktop again, like I said, right click on a free space, the desktop, go to the option view, then come here, then say show desktop icons. And here we are. Very good. Those are some of the basic settings we have in the computer. What about creating a folder and saving a file in it? Always when you want to create a folder, you have to choose where you are saving. Before I go to that, some other thing, which is also one of the settings in the computer, one needs to know is, on your computer, how do I get to know my computer specifications, like how much memory capacity do I have? What is the version of the Windows that is installed? That is the system software. Remember, we had already talked about the operating system. To do that, on your PC here, you always go and right click on computer, then you click on properties. When you click on properties, it will come here and give you what we have under the window we call view basic information about your computer. You'll always see the Windows edition. This is Windows 10 that is installed. You can see copyright 2015 Microsoft Corporation. Of course, all Windows softwares are developed by Microsoft as a company. Then the system, here you can see the processor. This is Intel Celeron CPU. The CPU speed is 2.16 gigahertz. That is the speed. When you talk about the gigahertz, we are referring to the units that are used to measure the speed of the CPU. Then the installed memory here, you can see the RAM. This laptop has got a 4 GB RAM. Yes, the Windows that is installed, yes, is Windows 10, but we have the system type. It is a 32-bit operating system. You see? Down here you can see also the computer name, maybe other things like workgroup settings. But remember here, I was just to show you to know how to check on the computer basic specifications. So this is very, very critical. Remember, your CPU determines how fast your computer operates, and your memory will always determine how many programs you can be able to install. And when you install those programs, then how fast do they open when you execute. So that is important to always check on your computer. If you go to the computer shop today that you want to buy a computer, the most important thing the vendor will always ask you is, what is the speed of the CPU that you're looking for? What is the memory capacity of the computer you're looking for? So those are very, very critical, and it is important that you're aware. Into creating a folder, I always have to select where I want to create my folder. In this case, I'm going to create a folder on my desktop. To do that, I right click on a free space, go click on the option new, then I say folder. After clicking on folder, as you can see, it comes with the default name, new folder. So I will remove the name new folder, then I type the name of my folder. So in this case, I want to call it computer application notes. You can see that. Then I press on enter. When you press on enter, that name is activated direct on your computer. So you can see I've already created a folder here. The folder is bearing the name computer application notes. When it comes to creating folders or even saving in a computer, it is very, very important that you are aware that you do not just go about saving with any name. You have to use relevant names. Why did I call it notes? I call it notes because this is where I'll be storing all my notes. Anything that I do in the computer, say as a student, like in your case, always remember that these I've created it as what? A folder specifically to store my notes. If you have got another folder that you want to create, remember, some of us at the advanced level of our course will be required to do some project. So then I want to create another folder where I'll be storing all my project work in the school. Then I create another folder there, then call it what? Project. So it means all my project work will be saved in the folder project, and all my notes will be saved where? In the folder computer application notes. Very good. Now I want to try and save a file now inside this folder. Remember, a folder is simply a storage container. The folder is what really helps us when it comes to file management. So I want to open Microsoft Word, then type something small and we save it there. So after clicking on start, this is my start, I click on all apps, that is all applications. Then I go to a folder we call Microsoft Office 2016. That's the version of the Office that I'm using. Then I go down and look for Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word. I want to show you the simplest way of accessing that. A lot of times you can see I'm really taking, here it is, Microsoft Word. So I'll click on Microsoft Word and here it is. The application opens. You can see the window. So I will type here a simple question. What is a computer? What is a computer? Maybe I'm setting some, some assignments. You as a student, you want to set some few assignments for yourself. You give yourself target how to revise. After setting this, then I go to File, click on Save As. There you are. Then I look for where to save. I want to save it direct to my desktop. When I click on desktop, here we are. So you see, it takes me to the desktop. I want to save as. Saving as means I want to save a file for the first time and with a name and in a location. What do we have on the desktop? These are some of the folders. Remember, the folder we did create on the desktop was called Computer Application Notes. So I will select it. Then down here, click on Open so that that folder is open. As you can see on the address bar where my mouse pointer is, now you can see the drive icon there has now changed to, yes, we are on the desktop, but the folder on the desktop is Computer Application 1. Down here, I will come then give it a file name. I will call it, maybe call it Notes 1. Then I come and click on Save. Very good. After saving, you can see on my title bar area, in some of the notes that I've given previously, I had already shown you different parts of a window. So you can see Notes 1, -1. Of course, Microsoft Word is the application we're using here, and Notes 1 represents the file name. That is very important. When I'm through, let me say, that is all that I needed. Then I close the window for that program. It prompts me to save, say yes. After saving, next time I want to open that file, which we've called Notes 1. I'll open the folder where I did save it, Computer Application 1 Notes. After opening, then right inside I get my file called Notes 1. Open Notes 1, and there we are. And then I can of course proceed on building on the same notes. Very good. So that is the folder, Computer Application 1, and these are the folder is for project. So next time I'm given some work, say at the final stage of my course, you're doing a project, all your projects will always save them here. This is how to create a folder. Once I've created this folder, in future, I might want to back them up. And when it comes to backing them up, I want to go and maybe have the files stored, say, in another drive. So when I open this computer, I can be able to see various drives. You can see them here. These are devices and drives. We have our hard disk, which is the main storage device in our computer that has been partitioned into local disk C. We have the local disk D, and then you have got local disk E. So these drive icons, they are there in the notes. Of course, you're required to read. Your computer is one whole space. It could be maybe 500 GB, but then partitioned into various parts. Why do I partition? Partitioning simply means dividing it into various sections so that when it comes to saving, you could save, maybe you are a student who likes maybe some music, you can be storing your music files there. You're doing a lot of videos, like the video that you people are seeing here. I could have decided to store it in the local disk D and local disk C. So you have to partition your hard disk when it comes to installing. Maybe in one of our future lessons, I'll show you how to install the system software, that is the operating system, and maybe show you how to partition at a later stage of our course. So like I said, I want to have all these 2 folders moved from the desktop and then saved in one of the drives. So I will copy them. To copy these 2, I'll hold down on the control key on my keyboard, then you click on project, then go ahead again and click on Computer Application 1 Notes. So I copy the 2, copy, then open on this PC, and after opening, I'll go to local disk E and have them saved there. Right click, then I come and say paste. So you can see I have literally copied the 2 folders, project and computer application 1, and moved them where? To the local disk E. So even if somebody was to come and remove them here from the desktop, maybe say delete them, I shall have not lost them, because I simply go back again to my PC, that is my computer, open computer, then go to local disk E, and I find the 2 here. Good. A lot of times you might have created a file or even a folder, but the name, you decide to change that name from what it is currently to something else, like this project. If I want to change the name, we refer to that as renaming of a file. I'll select project. After selecting, click on the option rename. So initially I'd called it project, but now I want to change it to maybe software development. So to rename a file or folder, you simply need to select the file or the folder, right click, then you go down and click on what? The option rename. After rename, that will be selected. Now you see I've already changed it to software development. If it is highlighted, you backspace, then you go and call it the name that you desire to give it. Project. Good. Then you press on enter, and there you are. So this is very, very important that you are aware how to go about it. Like I said, the recycle bin always contains all the deleted files. If I decide that I want to delete these 2 folders from the desktop, where do they go? I'll highlight them, click on project, I right click on it, then down here I get the option delete. Click on delete, and you can see it's no longer there on the desktop. Right click again on computer application 1, then click on delete. Where have they gone? I want to just confirm whether they've gone to the recycle bin. I'll go open recycle bin. After opening the recycle bin, you can see there is project and computer application 1 notes. What if I decide that I want to have these folders back to where they were? Computer application 1 notes. I'll select it, right click, then I click on the option restore. The restoring means you are restoring back that file or folder to its original location. Remember, computer application 1 was initially created and saved on the desktop. Here it is. I deleted it and sent it to the recycle bin, and I've now gone back to restore it to its original location. So after restoring, it goes back to your desktop. But since I don't need it here, I'll again just go ahead and delete. Right click, then click on the option delete. It goes direct to the recycle bin. And in the recycle bin, what if I decide what is all here, I don't need it? Once in a while, you always have to go and clear what is on your recycle bin. So I'll go open the recycle bin, then click on the option manage. After clicking on manage, I'll come and click on the option empty. Emptying the recycle bin means you are clearing everything. Remember, initially you've deleted them from where they were saved. They've gone to all to the recycle bin, and you now want to clear them from there. You'll always be prompted with the question, are you sure you want to permanently delete these items? I say yes. And now you can see my recycle bin is all cleaned. Your recycle bin is your trash bin. All deleted files and folders goes in there. So this is a simple exercise for us, and I would encourage that at your free time you also practice on the same. They are well outlined. They are very good procedures in your notes. So let's enjoy this lesson. Thank you.